Welcome back. Designing for the innovative economy, and we will start the second block. And the second block is about economics and co-creation. So we get perhaps even a bit more farther away from architects, but I'm not sure about it. We can discuss it later. We will again do the block as we did it before. That means there's a kickoff lecture. I will introduce him a bit later, and then we will split up. We will say what are the topics on the tables. We will split up. This time it's a free seating, so you can pick the club you want, and then we come back and we will reflect on the topics, and that closes the block. But so I think we are ready for Mr. Sadakane. I'm sorry, Sadakane, Gen Sadakane. He was in advertising before he founded a startup. It's a very, in a way, a successful startup so far. They don't make big profits anymore. What's new? But the amount of users exploded recently because Instagram changed his rights. I think you will say something about it. But if you share the photo with them, you keep your own rights, instead of if you share them with Facebook, you more or less sell your rights to Facebook. So it's true what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Gen Sadakane.
Okay. Hey, hi. Microphone check. So that's me. My name is Gen, and thank you for the invitation, UN Studio, and I will talk about me a bit, or just a bit, or just some slices, and that's I wanted to be always an architect, or my mom pushed me, but I was always too impatient. I wanted to be always new stuff and this and this and this, and that's the reason why I went to art direction or to advertising. Quite boring, but yeah, I made a lot of campaigns for Volkswagen and for Mercedes and Bosch and a lot of crazy stuff, and I won a lot of Cannes Lions and awards, and I was super happy to grab them. I was also in Cannes here that I grabbed in Miami, and I was quite successful, right? As you can see, but I had the feeling that advertising is kind of dead, because nobody's watching TV, nobody's watching commercials, nobody's interested into billboards or whatever, and everything is turning into social networks, and it's turning to Facebook and Twitter, and that might be the future, right? And that's the reason why I started an art project called I Am, and this art project was about mobile photography. It was 2 years ago, and everybody knows mobile device, and yeah, in Germany it's called handy, and that's the reason. Yeah, it was, of course, as you can see me. That's me, and this is the founding team, and it's all about co-founding, and the topic was co-creation, and starting with co-founding. I had the idea that it would be cool to show you my co-founders, and it's Ramsey, that's the most important person. He's doing the tech stuff, and Lawrence is doing the product, and Flo is more the biz, and biz dev guy, and business and stuff like that, and me, I'm doing more the creative, boring stuff and the design stuff. And it started all with an exhibition, or no, it started all with a blog, you know, and we built a blog and made a competition. Hey, send us your mobile photo, your best mobile photo to I Am, and a lot of people contributed and sent us the pictures, and it was really interesting. This was it was the first guerrilla exhibition. That's the reason why it looks like a subway, quite authentic, and we hang out a lot of pictures, and looks super amateurish and super arty, and we want to give a platform to the art mobile photographers, yeah, and it gets more serious. That was our first exhibition, and it's interesting. Just one block, and you reach a lot of persons, right? And we had a venue. It was a renowned Berliner gallery, I forgot the name, but a lot of people came by, and we hang out around a lot of pictures and produced them super exclusively at Andreas Gursky. You know, everybody knows Andreas Gursky, and we want to make this mobile shots more exclusive, and it was an awesome exhibition, and the contribution was also high quality, and that's the reason why we started a second exhibition in New York, and that's me hanging out and creating some pictures on the wall, and a lot of people came and bought this. Got also bought for $100, so it was interesting that somebody bought a mobile shot, and we gathered all these mobile photos and produced a book. This was our first art book, and we sold, I don't know, 50 examples and made $500. It was the highest revenue we ever made in our company history. And that was the 5,000 core users, right? And it's okay. It's a decent number, and we had the feeling, okay, there's a niche, there's a market for mobile photography, and compact cameras will die, and everybody will take pictures with iPhones and Android phones and Windows phones and whatever. And we pitched and got funding, and we got 50,000 euro and built up a GmbH limited, and got kind of serious, and that's the reason why we started a startup. And it was from an art project turning to a startup, or it's not a company, but it's turned to a startup. And oh, I don't know why it's white, but it's I am, and now it's a real getting. Now the picture you can see, it's more serious, right? Glasses on, and this is Lawrence. Even we have all titles now: CPO, CEO, CTO, whatever, creative director or COO. I don't know. I don't care about it. This was the team last year, and the guy who is smiling, it's the community team. Community team, super important to grow up. Huge community, and we have an iPhone team. He's also from Italy, and Android team building the iPhone, the Android app, and there's a Danish designer. The Asian girl is also part of the community team from California. It's not my sister, and yeah, Ramsey is still laughing because yeah, I don't know why. But now this was 2 days ago. We are 20 right now, and you can see there's we grow. So that's not fake people, they're real persons. And yeah, and now I want to show you the product a bit, because I am is a photo community, and it's kind of Instagram, everybody knows that, but we want to be more the Vimeo, the high quality photo platform, and Instagram is for the duck faces and for the other. Any questions? No? Okay, here that's the app, and it's in a store, and well, I can't see. Okay. You see around you, you can see what's around you, and you can check the popular feed, and also my face. And here you can see quality content. It's a popular feed. It's high quality pictures, and that's all made by cell phones, right? And that's super interesting. It's super fast. It's on 3G. It's all about community, right? And right now we are from 5,000 persons, we have 5 million persons, right? And that's crazy, because without any marketing budget, we reached 10 million downloads, but 5 million registered users. And I don't know why, but it's because they love photography, and they see that we are passionate about it. And I think that's super important, that when you start something, it's important that it's that people can feel that we care about photography and not putting everything into squares like Instagram, and we gave them the freedom to make landscapes and portraits and stuff like that, and also there are a lot of nude pictures, erotic pictures on our platform, and that's our kind of USP. And I would like to take a picture of you guys if it's okay for you. And here you can also see that filter by swiping. It's also a feature we developed. And there are a lot of features that you swipe at a different way. You see the frames and stuff. It's a bit, you can see that more this way. The Instagram is still smiling. And then the magic continues, right? And it detects you directly that we are here at Aedes am Pfefferberg, and it's art because it's a recommendation, because it knows that it's a art space here. But I wanted to upload that into I built a new topic album called UN Studio to promote you a bit. UN Studio, and I can share that easily on Facebook, on Twitter, Foursquare, whatever, and doing advertising for you guys, yeah, because it's right now I have, I don't know, 1,000 followers on Twitter and 1,000 Facebook friends, and UN Studio. Everybody's talking right now about UN Studio and thinking about what are these guys doing here. And here you can see also a picture 3 hours ago, and if you go to the header, you can see that 2 people contributed, and you can connect each other. It's not just the social graph; it's more the who's here, and I can check that out, and that's another person. I can go deeper into that, and I can like it, and then I can go to the Berlin. Oh no, that's me. I can go to Berlin, and I can always go deeper and deeper, and there's another person who took a picture of me, and yeah, you can. Okay, shit, kill him. No, and that's a short demonstration what we are doing the whole day, and it looks quite simple, but it's super complicated. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
What's the purpose of all those pictures? Are you like an image bank? Do people buy the pictures, or
yeah,
do they just want to show
I think that's the right question. It's about revenue, right? And first of all, it's fun. I think people are uploading pictures and want to be part of a bigger community, or sometimes there's a voyeuristic part on it, yeah, because I want to see what this person is doing, and I want to know him or stuff like that. It's kind of a dating platform at the end, yeah. But we are trying to do with the pictures. Of course, it's a kind of stock market and stuff like that. But I will come to that later. To this, is that okay, or to the what's the purpose of?
The next question would be, how do you make any money out of it?
Exactly, we can sell for sure the pictures, but we have a decent community size. 5 million is quite a lot, and we can make collaborations with bigger companies like Coca-Cola, and can send out to our persons in Germany targeted notification that, hey, send a picture to refreshment, and they will give us money for us, because we reach a lot of interesting people, the smartphone users, and it's the new kind of advertising, because they are not spending any more money on commercials and stuff like that, and they will give us the money that they reach the young persons, the young iPhone users and stuff like that. So that could.
Is that already happening?
It's happening. It's in the app already. Yeah, exactly. And
AdWords. Sorry.
sorry?
So when I join the platform, I will be sent adverts.
Yeah, that
No, it's not adverts. It should be always related. So there's one case, Philips. There's Bad Schneider, stuff like that, and we send always just to male persons the competition, the missions, the photo missions, and you get not annoyed by hey, take part of the Philips competition and send us your beard or stuff like that. So it will be always relevant. So is that an answer?
Are you on Twitter or Facebook? Are you familiar with any forms of new advertising?
It's through my 15-year-old daughter. I don't use it personally.
No, because what he tells is very in line with the way that Twitter makes money and that Facebook makes money.
Yeah.
Okay. Question?
Yeah, so basically you were talking about Instagram and how what the difference is between you and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that you've seen when Instagram was sold, a lot of the user group basically went away from that. Right?
Exactly.
You said that basically you came from this free app, now you're part of this huge development I don't want to be at. So when you're talking about marketing, like how do you judge what people would still accept or what's going to be difficult for your community? Like when is your community turning your back on you?
That's for sure, but it's fair, you know. We are asking them if when we are using the pictures or stuff like that on Instagram, they will grab it and use it. I don't know if they use that already, but we that's the reason why we have a huge community team to get always in contact with the users. Okay, yeah, I can go back to some slices. And then it gets to 50K users, and now we are at 5 million, blah, 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 and grows without any marketing, as I said already. And it's because of Facebook and Twitter. It's I mentioned that also already. And you can, because I had the feeling not everybody's familiar with Twitter and stuff like that, but here you can see it's a tweet deck, and that's kind of our billboard. Everybody is talking about IAM, and then the other one gets interested to IAM, and that's the reason why they download IAM. Yeah, that's how it goes right now. You see that on your feed, and then you will check it out and test it, and yeah, that's our growth strategy kind of. And also we have a huge Facebook fan page. There are 50K followers, and we put quality content on it, and people like it, and they share it, and it gets bigger and bigger, and someone get trapped and then download the app. And another super important part is we are creating the well, we started the ambassador program, and in every country, we are in 550 countries right now. There's one ambassadors, and the ambassadors are organizing meetups and photo walks and exhibitions. And here you can see the Berlin one. Yeah, they're I don't know, it's crazy. There are 40 people just because of IAM coming to this event because they love photography, or maybe they want to meet girls. I don't know, but that's always fascinating, and that gives me always a good feeling about doing IAM, right? And without any revenue model right now. And here it's Porto, it's 1 week ago, and you can see people on an IAM t-shirt, and they I don't know, I think this is the kind of future that they meet on an app or in a web, and they want to meet in a real life. I think that's the power of meetups and stuff like that, and talk about new features or about new apps, and promoting themselves in a kind of way. And this wasn't.
I have 5 questions. Oh, meanwhile, here, and here. Please.
At lunchtime, we discussed a little bit how you and your clients, can improve your product together. So now you are using social media through your product itself, so you get a lot of, I think, feedback. Exactly, how is your process to improve your product through this feedback?
Of course, at the end we decide. We, the 4 founders, decide if we do that black or white or turn the icon yellowish or whatever. But it's important that we involve our community, and we have a channel. We have the Facebook page that people can ask us, and that's the important part, and that makes you authentic and makes you closer to your users, and they feel that, and that's the reason why they share or use us, because it feels more like a family kind of way, and they are not dumb. They are giving us good feedback because they are using the app, and that's different than if you do a market research and there's a person who doesn't know anything about IAM and gets money for the market research, and that's the reason why he's saying, hey, I love it and I think it's cool, and because he gets $100 for this interview, right? And here it's more real, and that's the reason why people do that, and we hear sometimes and change something in the app.
All right.
So it just sounds very interesting and amazing what you're doing. It's a question just, if I understand correctly, that you are able to sell images from, yeah? So if someone is uploading images to your site, then, and you are selling the images, is it those persons getting, you know, any profit from this, or they're just...
For sure.
Yeah?
It depends on the, if it's just, I have no really examples right now, but we sold some pictures for Lufthansa, right? Mm-hmm. And we made this competition. Hey, make a picture in Rio de Janeiro at the beach, and there should be people wearing Nike shoes or whatever. And then we can reach the persons, and they send us the pictures, right? It's not the old-fashioned way that Lufthansa is looking for pictures in Buenos Aires, in Rio de Janeiro. It's more we are sending out this competitions, and then we say, hey, okay, you get $10 or stuff like that, and then we share it. That's the deal.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
It's super hot because the light is super hot.
In a scale out of 10,
yeah,
how much community management is important, and how do you develop it? What is your target in the next 6 months, a year, 2 years?
I think the next 6 months will be more revenue, because we need some revenue. But yeah, community is, as I said, always a super important part, and that's what, as I said, that makes you authentic, right? And yeah, from a scale 1 to 10, it's for sure 10. Yeah. Exactly, 20 people right now.
Because we were also thinking a lot about when we go online, we need to be there also present. So how much would you describe, how much percentage of the people involved in your company are busy with directly, let's say, connecting with the people who are in the community?
There are 4 persons right now. There's a head of content and community, another interesting title, and my sister, the Asian girl, he's doing a lot of stuff, giving support emails, because if you are on Twitter and Facebook, you are super
exposed
and
target,
and that's the reason why people are the whole day, 24 hours on the web, and even the founders are also, I'm answering, hey, it's not working because blah, 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 and that's the reason why it's not working. And I'm saying, this is the engagement. That's what I want to say, is all of the, not these guys, all of the 20 persons in our company are, love photography. And I think that's super important, even for you, when you're implementing the community. I think it's important. They will feel that, right? They feel if people are doing that for the money, or because they want some information, or because they love photography.
Yeah, what I found interesting, you also have workshops. Like I found, like you have some small workshops how to make a good photo, like the basics of proportions and how do you put the horizon.
That makes you more authentic, because we care about photography. That's the reason why we have a bigger blog, and the blog, it started all with the blog, and right now the blog is a super important part. And a lot of, I think we have unique users every day, 100K people are going to the web and getting informations and yeah, and get inspired. I think inspiring is also a super important part for a community. That's the reason why they open the app and get inspired by the popular feed. And also here, the people are meeting each other and get inspired. Hey, I took this picture and I'm right now into flowers, and hey, I have a tip for you here. And I think that's super important. And it's always about inspiring and authentic and kind of passion, right? Yeah.
I saw pretty cool stuff on your on your IM.
Yeah.
I just used it, and I noticed that the interface is quite user-friendly as well. But in terms of your future business plan, what do you plan? How do you plan to keep up with the progress and not lose touch? You know.
As I said, we have 3 buckets. One is reverse stock photography, one is advertising for sure, and then the other one is just selling pictures, right? And we have to try it out, kind of way, without spoiling our users. I think that's super important. But all these guys knows that we have to make money, and even if we create a pro account or stuff like that, they will support us by giving us $2 every month, whatever, right? And I think there are a lot of channels how to get money, but the most important part is to get traction, I think, to grow. And that's the reason why we got a new funding, or we closed a new financial round, because they believe into the team, and the team is passionate photographers, or kind of passionate, and I think that's the reason why we got millions of dollars that we can afford 20 persons in our super cool loft in Berlin Mitte, right? And yeah, and back to the community, I think it's this is in Japan and in Sao Paulo and in New York and whatever, and you can see there are a lot of people super interested and connected by IM, right? And I want to go to the co-creation, back to the co-creation, and this is the English IM app, right? And we use a web page called Crowd In, and our users are translating the app for free because they got engaged or they get involved. They want to be part of the IM moving maybe, and there are 20 persons in Japan using this app, and you can see that what's the translation for like your photos, and then they will write stuff like that. I'm Japanese, that's the reason why I can read it, but then you can vote here, right? I like this more than this, and 20 persons are voting for free, and it's cheaper than a translations agency, because they will do that in one day, but we have the community and they love the product, and they know what our speech is and what our language is, and it's always perfect. The translation is always perfect because they use our product. And if you use just a translator, it's shit. So that's what I want to say with passion and photography lovers. And yeah, this is one slide of a co-creation idea, and yeah, it's an idea, exactly. And back to the community, this is the iTunes Store, and it's the ranking of apps in the App Store. And we went to the number 2, and it's crazy, because if you're in the States, in the top 10, we had every day 200K downloads in one day. Every day we had 200K downloads, and this is crazy, right? Because without any advertising, and I don't know why, but no, I know why, because it's because we love photography and people like that and people see that, and yeah, that's the reason why I come back to the beginning. That's the reason why I have the feeling advertising is dead in a kind of way, and you can spend a lot of money, but maybe it's just a waste of money, right? And yeah, that's the reason why we reached 5 million registered users, and yeah, and that's a slice back to the revenue, but yeah, it's a bit, the presentation is a bit confused right now, but I don't know, this is the old-fashioned way to look for pictures. And here, as I said, Lufthansa is asking for us, and then we engage our community, and we send the pictures back, and this could be the new kind of stock photography. And yeah, this was the result. A Rio picture, and another example was CEO Berlin is a photo museum, and it looks a bit shitty right now, but this is the renowned photo museum, CEO Berlin. Everybody in Berlin knows that, or in Germany, and we made the photo competition, send us your bye-bye pictures, and from all around the world contributed pictures with a super creative input, and yeah, it was a huge success. As you can see, everybody was tweeting about that. 9,000 tweets per day were talking about the bye-bye project, and that's super important. Make interesting projects and collaborations, and that's how you get new users. And yeah, now download IM and take photos together. Yeah, that's it. And this is the album, and you can collect all pictures into that, and then you can connect to your new friends here. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you again. May I ask a question before?
Some questions?
Yeah, I have a question. If I look at how you work, I have the feeling you never left advertising, because in a way what you do is, as you said yourself, is the new advertising. I mean, kind of, yeah. We don't, in advertising, there's no longer a sort of bucket full of information being thrown over the public, and the public should shut up. But there's a new dialogue, there's a mass dialogue being created, and that's what you do.
Yeah, maybe it's more communication. It's not advertising, it's more communication, how you speak to your audience, to your, even users is a bullshit wording, because it's about people, right? Yeah. And I think that's important.
Then the second remark is what I see in the images of the people out there. It's very generational. I mean, I'm an old man. I'm 48. Yeah, I look good for 48. I know, but I'm really 48. I'm from 65, and okay, I'm quite active on Twitter.
I saw that.
Yeah, thank you.
More followers than me, so
yeah.
it's great.
You don't have a lot of followers for if you have, you know, that's crazy. You have one every 50,000 followers for IM follows you. That's strange. But anyhow, do you think that we, because let's say that that I am from a lost generation when it comes to this kind of business models, this kind of community organizing, and thereby, say what UN tries today is as well a lost case because it's just not the generation.
Tough question, I don't know, but yeah, we can talk about that in a workshop maybe later.
Okay, you had a good question.
I mean, it's really interesting how it works, because as you come from advertisement, and in advertisement, usually the problem is that you know your clients really well. They give you a kind of brief, and you kind of develop with them together, and they give you the money, but you know very little about your consumers. And there goes a lot of kind of research into what the consumers actually want and how can I fit that. Here now you got kind of a consumer base or kind of a user base, and you know basically everything about all the stats just come in. And you can choose your clients, let's say, the people who kind of advertise there. But still you got this kind of third person in the room now, or fourth person in the room, which is the investor. And I mean, I would like to a little bit more about what are their expectations? What's their community like? What are the pressures or so they're putting in?
Every month we have our board meetings, and there are a lot of people from the venture VC side are coming to our office and talking about us, but they are more helping us. It's not, because that's the reason we started 2 years ago, and we had a lot of opportunities to get money, but we choose the right person who understand us, and they were not the German ones. They were not the Rocket or the Team Europe, as an example. I don't know, somebody's familiar with that maybe, but they don't understand the vision, or they don't understand, hey, it's not e-commerce, it's about building a community. And after we reach 10 million users, we can think about it. And that's more the American style or the London style or whatever. And that's the reason why we decided for less money, but for better partners. And they are real partners, and they are not, hey, you have to do more revenue right now, and they are not pushing us. And I think that's super important, and that we can concentrate on growth. Yeah.
How do you build that expertise to kind of learn about how to navigate that field of investors? Because it is something I assume you were not really used to before.
I think that's the reason why we are
reading these type of people or investors.
Yeah, but I think that's the reason why we are 4 people, and there are a lot of. As I said, I'm more the creative and designer, and I have good partners. They will talk to the investors, and I'm fine. So maybe you can ask him later.
Yes, I'll come with the mic to you.
Yeah, I really like the picture in Porto when obviously people aged around 60 with teenagers meet and doing a real project. It looked like the picture was a really mixed gang of people. So that's I find that quite positive. I wasn't quite clear on the ultimate purpose, and maybe there doesn't need to be a single one. But you said you love photography. It's all about photography. And does your application increase the quality of mobile shot pictures? And is that really the engagement of quality, of creativity? And then you said the ultimate goal really is just to meet up with someone. And maybe it's all of that together.
To be honest.
But I would just be interested to see what you think is the real value, or maybe there are different things. But
no, that's a valid question. Of course, for the investors, we have to grow. Yeah, but at the end, you can grow with passion. I think it's okay to say there are a lot of communities at IAM. There are also honestly, there are also the duck faces and cats and stuff like that. But what we communicate is more the mobile photographers. And there are a lot of people meeting, not just over high quality content. They are also connecting because of there's an interesting girl on the picture. But this is normal. This is human behavior, I think. Yeah. Was it an answer?
Yes.
Did you thought also about putting videos to it or adding videos to it?
No, that's what I learned is focus on one thing, and if you start video and stuff like that, you get unfocused and forget it. I think this is also one advice to entrepreneurs here: concentrate on one. And also we started with an Android app, and then we made an iPhone app, and then we made web, and then we made this, and that's the reason it's crowded. And advisors focus on one stuff.
If we would translate that advice for architect's office, then it would be concentrate. What is the core business of UN is mid-high buildings from 12 stocks. Concentrate on mid-high building 12 stocks because it's very strange in a way. I mean, I know that it's you're decisive about it. We'll never do video, and I've heard this before in the startup scene. Do one thing, period. Where we architects think we want to do everything. You know, this morning all these different scales, Schwarz, Pierre, all these different scale things. Yes.
Well, we had that advice often to become a specialist, but then with the recession, it really saved us that we were not a specialist. We could do many different things and all over the world too. Mm-hmm. So, you know, for longevity, it can also be good to be flexible.
For sure,
and this also, I think, I see this what we're now trying to do as part of that, actually, as part of a flexibility. To
also a kind of startup, right?
You
are 120 persons, but you build a special task force for it, probably. And this special team is acting like a startup, and they try to be flexible. Right. And for sure, that's important. But it's one division in your company, and we can do that the same. Of course, we could do. Video, but I have the feeling it's distracting, and it's not, even for the communication, it's getting trashy.
But do you think that, also a question, this is what we are doing is highly specialist, so it's also very different from you, although the passion for photography is at the basis of it, it's still anyone can join.
Yeah, for sure.
And whereas we are, the dialogue is still a professional dialogue with...
But then it's okay, then it's focused, right?
And do you see that as, oh, that's the folk, okay.
All right? Yeah, I think that's okay, but
maybe
yeah, but then it's focused, right? So that's
maybe I can add a thought about that. I mean, you're concentrating on the user, and the user should only use pictures and not also video.
Yeah.
So maybe you should not compare to an architecture office, but to a building, and concentrate on a building, on like simplify things and simplify the using. Because in an architecture office, I think totally it enriches each other. If you have like a pavilion, you can try out things, and then you have a high-rise, and maybe you have one thought you tried out in pavilion and put that on a high-rise. It's just very different. And I'm sure that when you go on being successful, you can think about another app, which is something completely different. But this product should be simple. That's, I mean, that's maybe a different comparison.
So it's important that it's easy and it should work. I think it's like, that's the reason why we have mobile phones, because it works, and we have fax machines because it worked, and that's the reason why email is working, because it's worked, and it should be the same with IM or Instagram. Instagram is working because it's easy and everybody understands it, and of course I see that IM is a super difficult name, but it's okay because we are reaching the mobile photographers, and that's the reason why we have this profi meetups and stuff like that. So that's okay.
I think the sharing is, you're really onto something, because I think nowadays we're all very into experiences. We experience it, but what's the good of an experience if you can't share it? So that's why people want to upload.
It's
also.
vanity.
But I think that also goes, yes, expressing
why,
yourself.
Exactly, that's the reason why people are sharing that. That's a
Mm-hmm.
good driver also for this community, maybe, because they need an audience. If you share just with architects, maybe it's not so inspiring. I don't know, but it's always the same. If you hang out just with lawyers, it gets bored. If you just hang out with the diners, it gets bored. And maybe it's interesting to integrate a lot of special persons, but with one goal. But yeah.
And isn't it crazy to realize that we, as architects making buildings, that we almost never have dialogue with the users? And if then before, perhaps in organized settings or whatever, and imagine just if we would one day have the same communication with users of the buildings, that would be a crazy idea.
In this context, I was also thinking, how can we, as you say, simplify the contribution to architecture in that sense that people can share it? Because in your case, everyone can make a photo with his phone, he can change it as he wants and puts it on and shares with that, let's say, the moment. Everyone can not so easy make with a mobile phone his own building, but maybe we can...
But it's all about ideas. He can sketch something.
So maybe we can create, let's say, sharing moments within a building or something, or like certain specific aspects that can be shared and that reflect architecture and that comes from different experiences. Like, maybe that's what we are looking for, like the way of contributing. How can other people easily contribute to what we are doing? Yeah.
On Flickr, yeah. Okay, yeah.
How many pictures are you storing each day right now? What do you think will happen when...
server costs are super high.
It's 300,000, right? So what do you think will happen when Google Glasses is launched and spread? Because, I mean, what you're talking about...
It will not survive, that's my opinion.
Okay.
No, it looks ridiculous, right?
It
if
is.
I had some and then
it
I
is
take
so
a
ridiculous.
picture like this, I think you get punched.
The first iPhone.
You can put it away, right?
People who wear glasses are very in favor of it. Did you know?
I mean, at some point, you will be able to contribute your idea in every second of your life. You don't need to even take your phone out anymore. So concerning your co-creation and buildings and usability and so on, everybody will be able to say, I don't like this wall, and this window should be bigger, I need more light or whatever. So this knowledge sharing thing will become even bigger concerning all the storage which is saved, well, the storage coming up every day.
Yeah, I would like to maybe ask the organizers of this event the question, why exactly did you invite Gen? Because I can see many parallels, but not exactly make out the one parallel. Are we looking for business models? Because I think there's a distinct difference between a communication platform on my smartphone and architecture, because maybe I'm being totally conservative in German, but I think that architecture has a certain kind of responsibility to take over in society, whereas what you're doing is, and I don't want to slag it, it's great, but it's fun, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's more a lifestyle, and for sure buildings are more important than app, but I think it's the gathering of all the persons here is more, I had the feeling it's more to get inspired. It's not, hey, that's what I said, if they're just architects here, it gets quite boring. I have the feeling, but to be honest. And
maybe the direct answer is, I think clearly from the response you see the idea was really the inspiration. And if you compare communities, where do you find a community to relate to at the moment in a bigger scale? If you look at websites, there's a blog starting up where you share apps on the construction business.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to criticize it, just to sort of refocus on the topic of today. Maybe.
And the idea was really also now for the session that's coming, that you will see the main questions that we will put out is really on how can you relate that now to our field? What are the business models that work in our field? Of course, it's a big difference, and I think it's very inspiring to see what a community can build and what you can ask a community, like even the translation or the missions. I think it's something I could clearly see in architecture also, that you ask your community for not in the way for advice, but in a way for input.
But are we talking about buildings, or are we talking about the knowledge exchange platform that you're trying to build in UN?
The knowledge involved in.
Aspect of society. This is a societal aspect. These kind of innovations they are emerging spontaneously from the interaction of technology and the large public, and we are thinking that there is a lesson in there. There's something we have to really think through. Without knowing the answer, but.
It's also when you look at buildings or projects which happen right now in the city, most of the time community meetings happen before the project gets developed or before the competition gets out. And these community meetings are often really small groups which are not the main user and which are not the main group of interest, because it's just not getting to them. They have either no time or they don't even know about it, and it's most of the time like older people and like a special group of people who go there. And if you combine it with something like that and ask like a giant group, what kind of a building do you want to have as a main, I don't know, park or main train station or whatever, you will get a completely different answer. Because it's a young generation which is actually more important for the future than the older one. And
and
like
also it doesn't always have to be through question and answer. It can also be through more experiment. If you ask people very concrete questions, the answers are already scripted in them. So it's also not interesting. Yeah.
I think I agree. If I understood you right, it's a difficult process to actually involve people in a design process. I mean, I know there are architects that do that, but I think it's a sort of specialization in itself. But to have a community out there that is enthusiastic about architecture, that we can sort of exchange our enthusiasm with, I think that would be very valuable, because I think architecture has a tendency to somehow enclose itself in a professional discussion, and we have a lot of media that orchestrate our internal professional discussion, but the media, like going out to the public, it's in every country it's a bit different, but in Germany there is not a big interest in the public in Germany in architecture in general. So to have a community, I'm sure they're out there, and I'm sure there are people that we can connect with, and maybe also create more than just architecture, but sort of explain what's going on, the different things that are happening and so on. I think that would be quite valuable to have some backing.
Out of the box, and that's it, thinking out of the box also in terms of how we as architects understand what is the public.
Yeah, I think this direct feedback that you're creating in your platform is something that we are looking for in a way. And when you said, like, am I understanding it wrong? Is it comparable? I think it is comparable. Why should a building not be fun, like making photos on your platform?
Yes.
Just one question. What is the intellectual property structure of IM? I mean, who owns the photos?
The photos is owned by the users for sure. Yeah, that's in terms of sheet.
And how does the payment work?
Oh, we are sending emails out and ask the person if he's okay with giving the picture away, and mostly they are they are vain. That's the reason why they give it for free, because they're super proud to get published on our Facebook page or whatever. But you have to ask them. I think it should be always fair.
And for a project like the Co Berlin, the whole wall full of pages is email to every user.
Yeah, this was an award, and people want to get exhibited and talk about, hey, I got exhibited in a CO Berlin, and they're super proud of it. Of course, it's getting different if we are asking for Mercedes or stuff like that. But first, we are trying out the models right now, but even if it's for Coke, people get super proud of. Published on a Facebook page or whatever.
But you're getting money for that from Coca-Cola.
Yeah, but it's fair because even the service costs us plenty of I don't know, $20K per month. I think that's super expensive. And I think people are aware of that we are not doing that completely for free.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, you're getting money from Coca-Cola or Mercedes or whatever. Yeah. But let's say I'm a photographer and I contribute to IM. And I'm asked to be part of some campaign, and you offer me €100, but I said, but photographers usually get 700 for rights. So would I
but
get
then
that?
we can talk about it, but there's always an open dialogue. It's not, okay, forget it, bye-bye. It's not that way. So it's always a communication. Of course, it's on a long tail. It's getting super different for sure, because we can't ask. 1,000 people every day, so that will be might be a problem later, but that's not my problem right now.
Okay.
I have a suggestion to close it off here. We're still perfectly in time, as if we all knew how this was going to be, and we didn't. But thanks for enhancing the fantastic discussion. Thanks for sharing what you do. So let's give you an applause for being here.